Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nerds New Bully. I'm your host Leroy, aka The Sweet Surrender, with my co-hosts.
Yeah, this is Eli, aka Luscious Jackson.
Nice, there you go. Sweet Surrender is a finishing move on Devil May Cry. Figure out what that movie is,
That's
but yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
may not
right.
mean what you think it means though. But yeah, but like I said, we're starting off a new episode, and I didn't know we were going to record, and I decided to go ahead and do something. So I want to wish everybody happy Easter. You know,
That's right. It is a holiday today.
it is a holiday. Most people celebrate with them, but just want to say happy Easter to everybody. Yeah, we understand this joke is running long enough, but just want to let everybody know that hopefully we're old enough to understand that Jesus doesn't look like Barry Gibbs from the Bee Gees. Hopefully, my
Looks like
thing
Mr. T.
that's what the closer what he looks like. It's not even a controversial thing. I mean, come on, obviously, But my thing is, Eli, okay, we celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. Happy Respawn Day for those that know that. But what does a rabbit have to do with anything?
I'm sure it was some pagan shit that the Christians ripped off, like they always do.
Or eggs. Like rabbits don't lay eggs. What do they have to do with anything? These are just questions we need to ask. Now, if you want to celebrate,
I'm sure you look back in history. That's all. Most religion, like Christianity, is just a hodgepodge of all kinds of. They just kind of pick and chose traditions and said, "Hey, here you go. Go to Sunday now."
And you know what? I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. But why are they doing Easter egg hunts on churches, on churchcraft? When we know, like Jesus and the Bible never said anything about rabbits laying eggs that I know of.
I don't know, man.
I know what I'm saying. Just do the research. Just look into it. Now, keep in mind, we're not anti anything. We're just saying, just know what you're celebrating. That's all. That means
if it's an excuse to go eat a ham. What do you eat on Easter? Ham? Or
deviled eggs?
Deviled egg? Well, yeah, Easter eggs. I mean, I haven't done this shit since my kids were like little kids, so right. I don't. What? It was like a dinner. It was like another Thanksgiving, right?
Not that I know of. I just know church was like really, really long that day. So expect to like really be there. They'll pack a lunch when you go in there,
Yeah. I remember those
let's
days.
see. It's real pagan holidays, just like Halloween and Christmas. Wait, Halloween is a pagan holiday?
Oh yeah.
Is it? I didn't know. I'm asking.
Samhain and
Earl Edwards Jones II. Shout out to you. We already knew about Christmas, so obviously we figured that Easter was about the same thing also, because like a lot of weird traditions going on in there. But just go with it. That means let's move on to something a little bit sad. We're gonna move into something. We're gonna talk about rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, it happened this week. It was a thing we do want to talk about him, celebrate. Eli, I think I'm gonna let you talk about him a little bit because I'm having trouble. Okay, here's my thing about Gilbert Gottfried. Okay, we all know Gilbert Gottfried. We all know who he is. And we know he has the voice. What is he famous for?
Was he
having it? Right. Okay, we get it. The voice. We go it. Okay, but was he like in a hit TV show or a movie?
I know he did a lot of voices for cartoons. Wasn't he in like Disney? What character did he do in a Disney?
Okay,
he was in a Disney movie.
I don't think you saw it. He was in Lion King.
Okay.
But Lion King didn't make him. It wasn't like, he's the guy from Lion King. He was already famous before Lion King.
Yeah, he's been a comedian from the 80s. I mean, he always had like little bit parts in movies,
so he was a stand-up comedian. Okay.
He was in one of the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Was he? No, I think you're getting confused with the guy from Perfect Strangers.
No, he was in the Beverly Hills Cop too.
Huh.
Gilbert Gottfried. He was like, bitch, that's my wife's car.
Okay, see, that's why I'm trying to figure out like what made him famous. But you just know him. He's just like that guy that was just famous just for being famous.
Yeah.
The pair. Oh yes, Lion King.
Okay. Yeah.
Was he in Aladdin? Was he in it?
Yeah, it was one of those movies. I remember it was one of those movies.
Okay. What I know him from, but like I said, he wasn't. This didn't put him on a map for me. But what I know him from is Mr. Mxyzptlk.
That's right.
That name is impossible to say. From Superman. Now, like I said, he was already famous way before that came out. But anytime I read a Mr. Mxyzptlk story in Superman comics, I picture Gilbert Gottfried. That's what I always do. Now, funny thing is, I do remember hearing maybe 2 years ago, seeing an interview from Gilbert Gottfried. He wasn't doing the voice. So the voice is an act.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he talks like a regular guy. It's just when he's putting on the act, and he actually even did the voice. He's like, yeah, when I go to do the thing in the stand-up comedy, then he switched to the voice. And I was like, let me cut this off. It's gonna like destroy.
Bobcat Goldthwait or whatever.
I thought that was really him. That wasn't really his voice.
No, he can talk normal.
Can he? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So yeah, so Gilbert Gottfried apparently was the same way. It was like a thing he just did. It was like a character, So
Well, he's really famous for the aristocrats joke. He told like right after 9/11.
Okay, so what is the risk credit? Because I keep hearing about that, but I have no idea what that is.
It's like an inside joke that comedians know, and they have their own take on it, but they make it as dirty as possible. And it's just like a thing that it's like a comedic tradition that stand-ups, they all sort of have their own hand and make their own versions of this joke.
Because I heard Norm Macdonald had a version of it also.
Yeah, and there's a documentary about where like all these comedians get together and talk about it, and they all tell their own versions of it. But I guess Gilbert Gottfried's version was famous because they were doing a roast of I think it was Hugh Hefner or something. It was like right after 9/11. So there had been no like comedy, like stand-up comedy in New York.
It was a weird time because nobody wanted to laugh around the time.
Yeah, so they were doing this roast and people were kind of nervous about what to say. And Gilbert Gottfried got on stage and told that joke, and it basically united the room and everyone started laughing again. And it was like this hilarious, very dirty version of it. And it's on YouTube. It's pretty funny. But yeah,
Okay.
that was like that's like iconic now of his version of that, his telling of that joke. But yeah, he always sort of pushed boundaries. He's a very as far
like
as
a raunchy comedian.
Yeah,
it was the 80s, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been in like different little bit parts of movies. There's a really cheesy horror movie called Highway to Hell where he played Hitler.
Wait, what? Okay.
Yeah, he's in like a strip club in hell, and he plays Hitler, and it's Gilbert Gottfried going 9-9 Scheisse, and you can imagine that voice. But yeah, like Beverly Hills Cop. He was in was it Ford Fairlane? Remember that movie with Andy?
He had a big role in Ford Fairlane, didn't he? He wasn't just like a big
wasn't he like one of the murder victims? He got killed on the air or whatever.
Something like that. It was like a shock jock or something that killed him. Yeah, something like that. So
yeah. So he's been around. But yeah, I can't pinpoint like the iconic role that he had.
That's the thing, because I was sitting here thinking about the whole thing. It wasn't like a thing that just put him on the map. He was just there. Like he was famous before I was around. So
Hollywood Squares. He was on Hollywood Squares.
He was on Hollywood Squares all the time. That's right. That's probably I think that's where everybody knows him from, Hollywood Squares. Because he was kind of like a breakout person from there. So I don't know. I need to do like
good journey for him.
Good journey. I need to do like a documentary on just look up a documentary on him or do some research on him, because I'm pretty sure we probably should have did it before we did the podcast, but that's okay. I just figured you just knew this stuff. It's just...
you the one who told me about it.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's get to it. Let's see what let's click it and see what we got. The biggest role was being, I guess, but he was famous before that. That's the thing. Yeah. So it wasn't like that made him. People just knew who he was, Yeah. But yeah, okay. Eli, I'm gonna let you start off with this because I don't really know where you're gonna go with this. I don't know where you're gonna go with this, but let's go. Like I said, we're okay. I'm gonna let you set this up and see where we're going with this.
So I just heard about this and I was like, what the hell? So I don't know what Sandra Bullock has anything to do with it other than she thinks it's a good idea. But I guess there's chatter on the internet that I haven't been aware of until like this week that they want Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter, to play Wolverine.
It's been a thing for a while. It's
the first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just hearing about it, and I'm pretty much like every other boomer. What the fuck is this bullshit?
Now, here's the thing, Eli. Now, I'm playing devil's advocate for a second. I'm not for Harry Potter being Wolverine either, but I'm playing devil's advocate. People say the same thing about the Twilight guy. Oh, he can't be Batman. He's too sparkly. He's too vampire-y. Like, look at the fuck. Like, he plays other roles, Now, the thing about this is, but playing the other side of it, it's not really the same thing because, the vampire guy played in other stuff. And he played in other roles that made you believe he was Batman. Like, he got like a Netflix movie called High Times. He was great in that. Tenet, he was great in that. And he was basically playing like a James Bond type guy in that. So when you watch him in those roles,
Good Times, that was a good movie. He was in
right,
good, where he plays a total scumbag. But yeah,
right, that Tower movie, that Light Tower movie, stuff like that. So he played in awesome movies that made you forget about the
the
vampire
Lighthouse,
sparkly shit. Yeah. Harry Potter, on the other hand, he hasn't played in any like gritty, thug roles that make you want to think he's Wolverine or shit like that.
And that's my thing. He's too fucking pretty,
Yeah.
And Wolverine, I've always thought of Wolverine as this little hairy, ugly, smelly fucking prick.
So you don't think I'm like Hugh Jackman, the runway model?
No,
Okay.
no, and that's what I liked about him, that he was just like this smelly little hairy, ugly thing, but still got to bang hot chicks.
Right. But you can't sell that in Hollywood. That's how I grew up with Wolverine also. That's how I imagine Wolverine as.
Yeah,
But
and I just look at Harry Potter. I'm just like, he's too pretty. He's too impotent. He's too soft.
Yeah,
he's too delicate to be. Yeah. And I know he's short. I heard he's like really short, but so is Agent Cody Banks. That kid's like fucking 3 feet high.
Right. And that's the reason why people want him to be Wolverine, because he's short.
Because he's short. Yeah,
that's it.
So is
that's
Danny
the only
DeVito.
reason.
So is Jack.
He's on the list also. He's on the fan list also. That people wanted Danny DeVito for the longest, because the thing is with whatever dude named Harry Potter. I don't watch those movies, so I don't know who he is. But there was some fan art that came out a while ago that basically had like Wolverine. It was like Hugh Jackman's body with Harry Potter's face, but it was like shaggy, and it was like, could he be Wolverine? And that's when people started jumping on the bandwagon. People started rolling down the hill. Oh, he can be Wolverine. He can't be Wolverine.
They can do it that anybody's face.
Exactly, they can. But for some reason, people just jumped on Harry Potter just thinking that's it. Because here's the thing, Eli. We're old. We don't know any better. We don't really understand how popular these Harry Potter movies are.
Oh, yeah.
What are they on
there's a new one just came out like today,
right
or like
right.
Yeah.
We're the only nerd group that's not reviewing this shit. Why? Because I forgot it came out until you just mentioned it. Meanwhile, everybody else.
I gave it a thorough try. My niece was reading the books. She gave me one to read. It wasn't even the first one, and I read it. And I gave it a thorough try. I could see why kids like this shit, but I haven't seen all the movies. I just wasn't my thing.
Okay, so you gave it a try. You read the book. Okay.
I actually read a couple of the books. Yeah.
Okay. I watched the first movie. And I was like, nah, I'm good on this.
I watched several of them, and at one point I was like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, and the thing was, I forgot about the first movie. I was like, okay, it was a thing. It's not my thing. Move on again. And then it became this huge sensation out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it to be that huge of a thing.
I mean, it was huge before the movies came out, because I remember I used to work at Target, and I was like stocking shelves, and someone came up to me and says, "You got the new Harry Potter?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck is Harry Potter? What the fuck is that?" I didn't know what they were talking about. Yeah, like Harry Potter. I'm like, what the fuck is Harry Potter? Like, what is that? And, oh, it's a book. Oh, I don't know. Go check the books. Like, I don't fucking know. And then all of a sudden, a couple years later, there's a movie. I was like, oh, okay. And then now it's this big giant thing. It's Star Wars for a new generation, I guess.
It's their Star Wars, yeah. So I can like say to you, but like I said, I guess it's that crowd that wants him to be the Wolverine, because he's so big. They just want him to be in stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
Did they read Wolverine?
Probably not. They just
Here we are, the gatekeepers. Did you read any of the comics?
You don't know this shit. Yeah. So of course they're doing that, but yeah, they want these people to be in all the movies. They want to be cast in everything. Like what Emma Watson, she was hot. Like she was in everything for like a hot minute. People just wanted to be in stuff. I kind of related to, and like I said, I'm not trying to step on your toes, Eli. I kind of related to Game of Thrones. Where everybody in Game of Thrones was hot. They wanted Game of Thrones character actors to be in everything.
There you go. Jon Snow. Get that dude to play Wolverine. He's hairy.
He's already playing a dude.
And he's an Eternal, isn't he?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that.
He's not an Eternal. He's an Eternal's boyfriend.
Oh.
But he's a thing.
Well, see, they fucked up. They fucked that. He could have been Wolverine. Because that dude's like 3 feet high, too. Isn't that dude short?
Yeah, and he like dainty and shit too. kind of. He don't
I mean, he
come
was
off like,
so he was like
you know.
he was like a Viking, and
You know who would, in my mind, who would be the perfect Wolverine? Who's already somebody, but who would be the perfect Wolverine?
who?
John Bernthal. I honestly think he would kill it as Wolverine. Matter of fact, I think he would be a better Wolverine than we need was a Punisher.
Yeah, and the thing is, I get that. That's what going back to this Daniel Radcliffe. Like I think they want somebody young, somebody to bank like the
Black Knight,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah, they
But
want
he's
someone young.
Wolverine. You can't have a teeny bopper heartthrob Wolverine.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, see, that's the thing. Hollywood fucked up Wolverine. The way we know Wolverine. Yeah, we some gatekeepers right now, shit like that. When we grow up, Wolverine actually was not the focus of the X-Men. He was in there, he was in the group, but it wasn't like everything revolved around him. He was just a dude that was just there, you know.
Yeah,
Every now and then he had some cool.
Ball.
Yeah. Now he would pop out because all the X-Men got the ass kicked, and then he'd be the guy to show up and go, okay, now it's my turn. And that's the kind of Wolverine you get. He's like that specialist guy that came up. But the movies turned around, and now you got to make him a leading man. You got to make him this runway model. You got to have this love interest. You got to make every story about him. When that never was Wolverine. It kind of goes away from what Wolverine was. It's like you say, he was this like dirty guy that just nobody really wanted to hang around with, but they kind of had to because he was the bruiser of the team. He was the guy that got shit done the other guys didn't do, you know. But shit never revolved around him. And that's the thing they want.
They never, at least like the X-Men movies, like they never sort of highlighted that animalistic nature, his berserker rage, really, until Logan.
It's PG-13. It's only so
we never saw that. We only saw heartthrob, pussy whipped Captain Save-A-Ho Wolverine.
Right.
We saw delicate Wolverine, and we never got to see that animal. And that's like such a huge part of the books is him dealing with that animal nature that he struggles with.
Right. He had to struggle to be in like around people, societies. Like he didn't know how to. He had no social skills.
Yeah, and it's the X-Men, it's the kids, it's working at the school, and falling in love with Jean Grey and what's her name, Marco or whatever from
Mariko.
It's like that's who made him human, but that came later on. But that was always a struggle, and you never really saw that in the movies unless it was Logan. I feel is the closest one because it was R-rated and they got to go hard. But I just don't see it, but who knows? Like you said, I thought Patman wasn't going to work, and it's I can't wait to what's going to be on tomorrow or maybe after this.
It's on now. It's on now.
Hurry up, let's get this shit done.
News, breaking news right now. The Batman is on HBO Max right now.
I already seen it twice. I saw it twice in the theaters already.
I saw it twice in the theaters. Awesome movie. Pattinson killed it. I mean, people were doubting him. I thought he killed it. But that being said, that Harry Potter guy cannot be Wolverine. I don't give a fuck. Unless he comes out with some assassin movie that I've never seen before, and he's some kind of hitman. I'm like, you know what? Maybe he could be Wolverine. Until he does that, he can't be Wolverine. So
I don't using lotion. Like he needs to have his skin dry out a bit, get some cracks. Get some scraped up knuckles, grow some hair, you know what I'm saying? Get some pubes.
Can he grow hair? I don't know if he can or not.
Yeah, man.
In my mind, he's still 12 years old. He probably like 35 or some shit. I don't know. Yeah. This is the last time I saw this movie. That's why we're the comic book bullies, not the Harry Potter bullies. I don't know shit about Harry Potter. So let's see what we got here. Any thoughts on the upcoming Doctor Strange movie? Gonna be awesome. Already got my tickets. Yeah.
Oh damn.
I think it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Sam Raimi. Hey, I'm down.
Sam Raimi. It's gonna be the closest Marvel has gotten to horror. The closest. Might not be full blown horror. Might not be horror, but like I said, it's Sam Raimi. So
Disney.
Anything? Horror. It's Disney horror. But everything he kind of popularized horror movies. He's kind of like one of the Godfathers. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm gonna love it. Doctor Strange probably gonna be the highest grossing movie of this year, but we'll see how it goes. Anything else you got to say about Harry Potter Wolverine or
no?
Okay, all right. I guess we just jump on.
Don't do it. That's all.
Well, here's the thing. I got one thing to add. That's why I'm glad that Hollywood doesn't listen to us for fan casting for the most part. Sometimes they do listen to us for fan casting. That's how that Game of Thrones chick became Jean Grey, because they just actually Fox just put it on there. Who do you want to be Jean Grey on Twitter? And Twitter just said the Game of Thrones chick. They're like, okay. Does she fit Jean Grey? No, not really. But man, this movie sucked anyway. So who cares? All right, let's move on to the next part. Speaking of movies that suck, let's talk about Warner Brothers and DC. Now, this topic has been going around all over the place. People have been talking about. Basically, for those that don't know what's going on, DC, well, not DC, but Warner Brothers has been bought out by Discovery. And yes, that Discovery, Property Brothers, what's that? Guy Fieri, is he on there, or is he on
I don't
another
know.
channel?
It's been a
Probably.
while since I worked at Discovery. It used to be animals and shit. Now I don't know.
Well, see,
Now they got
Discovery owns other shit also, so they don't just own Discovery. So it's them, but I think they own like the Life Channel, TLC, the Gardening Network. I said like they own all this shit.
like Honey Boo Boo and shit like that.
Yeah, I think they own all that shit. Like Discovery is huge. Like they bought Warner Brothers for 43 billion, I think, or some shit.
Okay.
It's like a huge deal. So they got money to throw around. So they bought it from AT&T. AT&T bought Warner Brothers, lost money on them. HBO Max was a fucking money pit, so they sold that shit, just dumped it off, and got rid of it. But yeah, that's going on. But basically, what's going on? Hold on, let's see. Real topic can DC and Warner Brothers make a great animated films and make terrible live action films. Well, that's the thing. That's the topic. The reason what Discovery is trying to do right now is that Discovery says that they're going to do an overhaul of DC Entertainment. They're going to basically make a separate entertainment studio designed for DC and kind of fix whatever DC is doing. Now, people keep talking about the movies, this, movies, that. No, DC needs to be fixed from ground up, rooter to tutor, stem to stern, toe to toenail to head, everything. They need to be fixed. Toe to tip. Yes, everything. They need to be fixed. Because people only focus on the movies, Eli. But like I said, we are reading the comics. We really understand that even the comics are in a rut right now. Everything is Batman. All they do is Batman. They just stop everything but just Batman. So everything that DC is doing comic book wise, just Batman, Evil Superman, a crisis, reboot, rinse, repeat. That can only sell so much. So even the comics, they don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty much even like the Last Crisis had Batman. Didn't
it was just Batman.
Dark Knight's Metal,
Batman Crisis, right? They just fought evil Universal Batman. I'm like, come on, man, I'm sick of this shit, man.
Evil Batman.
Right, evil Batman and evil Superman. I'm in the point now that I was reading this a DC story like from 2015, like that Earth 2, where some shit happened in it. And I was cool until Superman went evil again. I'm like, here we go. Yeah. Zack Snyder, all he wanted to do was just evil Superman. Let's just get to evil Superman. So DC needs to do something else. Fix DC from the ground up, start from scratch, just wipe the slate clean. Now the main thing is who should run DC. That's the thing. So there are some candidates out there. Hold on, let's see what we got here. I think we have some takers. Let's see. Batman's DC cash cow. No, that's what I'm saying. They have other people. Like, let Batman be Batman. I'm not saying stop making Batman, just stop making so much Batman. They have other stuff they can make. Like, make other stuff. That's the thing. Like Marvel. I'm not trying to make a 1v1 comparison between DC and Marvel, but I'm just saying that Marvel can take Guardians of the Galaxy and make them a franchise. DC has a hard time doing that with anybody but Batman. They can't even do it with Superman. And they did it with a fucking raccoon.
They fucked up with Swamp Thing because that was dope.
Swamp Thing would have killed exactly if they would have. And on top of it, not only that, they could have made Swamp Thing a movie. And if you're trying to make like an overall DC universe like that, you could have worked Swamp Thing into that universe. It would have fleshed it out. He's part of the Green. He's part of the Elements, all the stuff like that.
Justice League Dark.
Yeah. Justice League Dark was just sitting there waiting to do it. And now the thing is that anytime DC starts to do something, Marvel would just take this shit and just run with it. DC was trying to make the New Gods. Marvel's like, well, what do we got like the New Gods? Eternals? Okay. They made Eternals after like DC New Gods even thought about it. And now they went in, okay, Eternals flopped, but the point was the movie still came out. New Gods, on the hand, that shit is in development hell. New Swamp Thing was fire. It was, and they killed it when the second episode came out. So that's the thing about it.
Yeah, that was the reason why I got DC Universe, was to watch the Swamp Thing, and then we're canceling it, and I'm like, what, really? And it was such an awesome show. James Wan, it was,
and they told people they were canceling it like a second episode in, like, dang, you canceling already?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like I said, DC wants to have, who are they going to get to be their new guy to head it? Could it be Jeff Johns? Everybody's saying Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is out. He is out. He's done. The reason Jeff Johns is out is because of Ray Fisher. You can thank Ray Fisher for that. I can't show it about it. Now the thing is,
just put Ray Fisher in charge.
You could might as well shit. But the thing was, like, Jeff Johns is the guy that they tried to put in office. But the thing was, when Ray Fisher, when all that shit went down and everybody blamed Josh Whedon, and Josh Whedon had to fall on his sword, one of us has to die in the wreckage, brother, all the stuff like that. He took a bullet for all these other guys. He took a bullet for Jeff Johns. He took a bullet for John Berg, and all these other guys that was on the team like that. So Jeff Johns can't run DC, even though he still works for DC, even though he has a comic out this week that we're not going to review just because I don't fucking want to. But that's the thing about it. So Jeff Johns is out. So let's see. Hell no, hell no, hell the fuck no. Thanks for listening. But yeah.
Yeah,
we do not want a repeat of the Snyderverse. The thing was, Snyder is the one that ran this car off the cliff to begin with. Everyone wants to blame everybody in the higher ups of Warner Brothers. Everybody's fault but Snyder. No, it's Snyder's fault. Snyder was in control of Man of Steel. He's the reason that shit flopped. Snyder was completely in charge of Batman v Superman. That shit flopped.
Or was it Nolan? Because you want to talk, Christopher Nolan's Batman movies were all dark and gritty and all this shit, and then they try to put that into Superman. Man of Steel was all dark and gritty Superman and emo Superman and shit.
Okay, so yes, Nolan, but you're blaming Nolan on his influence on what he did. Okay,
yeah,
Nolan was popular.
Yeah.
Yes, Nolan does have some blame, but you can't directly blame Nolan for it, even though he does have some blame for it. Because DC's dumbass were like, okay, since Batman worked with this type of style, let's use this for the Flash and all these. Like, no, that doesn't work. Let everybody be different. Like Superman, you don't need to do a template for Superman, because I've seen YouTube videos of Man of Steel and Batman Begins, and about how both of them are like wandering loners that come back and got to go find themselves, and they got to fight this dude from the past like that. They're almost the same movie, and they don't need to be. Man of Steel, Superman does not need to be a Batman clone. Like, even going that route makes no sense.
And that was my beef with Man of Steel. It's like, he was so whiny and like, dude, you're Superman.
Right.
You're
Superman's
awesome.
Supposed to be upbeat and happy.
Quit bitching, dude. Like, just go fly, dude.
Right. But you know what? I took it for what it was at the time, Eli. I was like, okay, he's learning. He's figuring stuff out, But then BVS came along. He's the same asshole he was in Man of Steel. Nothing changed whatsoever.
Yes. Emo as fuck. Yeah.
And then it drew out the even bigger problem was going on, since they tried to make Man of Steel like a Batman Begins clone. So now Superman and Batman have the same personality, looking at each other like, you did evil shit. You did evil shit. Both of y'all the same person. Y'all should just whoop your own ass, instead of be mad at each other.
I know, man. And it's like, and then he's just like, it's safe to say that DC doesn't know their. Yes. I mean, that's the thing is, like, when Marvel took characters nobody gave a fuck about and turned them into icons. No one gives a shit. No one gave a shit about Iron Man before Iron Man came out. No one gave a shit about the Guardians or Ant-Man.
And like, we read this shit, and we didn't give a fuck about Iron Man.
Like, everyone's crying when Yondu dies.
Yondu, right.
Yondu dies, and everyone's crying, and Superman dies, and I'm like, God damn, is this movie over yet?
Oh, we got 20 more minutes of his funeral.
Damn, can you fucking die? Oh, Jesus. And then he comes back to life. Hey, let's go kick this dude's ass. Wait a minute. Let me ask my girlfriend's permission first.
Like, everybody else is going fighting. He just went home.
I'll go see my mom first. I'm like, oh, geez, dude, you got asses to kick. Go. Yeah. I'm going to go. It's going to be 2015 all over again.
Right. We don't need to do this.
The dark times.
We're more on the same page. But yeah, that's the point we're trying to make, is that we don't want to go down that road again. Because the thing is, here's the thing, Eli. I've come to terms that the only reason I like the DCEU movies and the Justice League movies is because it's the closest thing I'm going to get to a Justice League movie. So it's like, you either take this or you get nothing. So you better like it. So That's where I am with it right now.
Kind of like how I am with Star Wars. It's
Right.
nice to visit. It's
It's
nice
nice
to
to visit.
visit.
It's like I'm not. It's the closest thing I'm gonna get, man.
Yeah.
You either take this, you get nothing. So
Yeah.
so I'm watching it, but I know it's not what it needs to be because none of these characters are acting like they're supposed to be. It's like the thing about Zack Snyder is that yes, he's a visual dressed like that, but he doesn't know this shit. He doesn't know these characters. He probably knows it better than anybody else that works at Warner Brothers, but that isn't saying much. He looked at he probably read The Dark Knight Returns. He looked at the picture in Watchmen, the Killing Joke, and like, let's just make a movie. Yeah, he saw some scans, on Facebook and shit. It's just like make a movie. He doesn't know this shit. He doesn't get this shit. That's the thing about it. And that's the thing, like I said, I'm not trying to make it a comparison between Marvel, but the thing is that people keep saying, all DC needs to do is just get another Kevin Feige and they'll be fine. No, getting a Kevin Feige is not DC's problem. Their problem is they don't have Kevin Feige. That's the problem. Kevin Feige understands this shit. He understands what this world is. He is a comic geek. He knows comics. He's not ashamed of comics. He doesn't look down on them. He wants comics to bring to life. And at the same time, he also knows the movie business. He understands both worlds. Like he worked on the X-Men movies and he realized everything he learned from X-Men movies, like, okay, don't do this shit.
Yeah, he was working on the Ghost Rider movie.
He was working on Ghost Rider. He was working on Punisher, also like that.
Yeah.
So he knows comics and movies. He understands both worlds. So he knows how to bring the comics to the movies. So who's worse, Bryan Singer or Zack Snyder?
Oh shit. Well, if we're talking about their both have made cool movies. It's just their comic movies.
Well, first off, Bryan Singer's a piece of shit. So that's
that is true.
Movies aside. So yeah, we're not gonna go there. I want to get flagged or whatever like that. But yeah, that's the thing. So they need just getting a guy and just putting him in the Kevin Feige role is not enough. You need Kevin Feige. This is like saying, "Oh, the Chicago Bulls need to win. All they need is another Michael Jordan. Just go get a Michael Jordan." It's how hard can it be? It's not the same way. You're just not gonna replicate what Kevin Feige has done because Kevin Feige is pretty much a unicorn.
And and I think they just need to stop. Everyone just needs to stop trying to replicate what Marvel's done.
Yes, that's another problem. They're chasing Marvel. Chasing Marvel was got them in this position to begin with. Let's crank out Justice League in 3 movies. Like what? Let's slow this shit down. Figure out these people are. And like I said, one of the reasons that Justice League movie was 4 hours because for some reason they can't figure out how to make Cyborg a solo movie. They didn't want to give Cyborg a solo movie, which is one of Ray Fisher's problem. If he's so important to the role and he got so much backstory, explain that guy. Because he's not like Batman or Superman. Nobody knows who the fuck Cyborg is. Even people that read comics. And so don't shove him in a movie. You might get away with that with Flash. I mean, but still. Also Moon Knight. No. No. I'm sorry. Look,
this guy's giving us requests and we're just shooting them down.
Earl, I love you. I love you, but we can't. We can't. If you listen to another podcast, there's a reason we can't do it.
Yeah.
Anything else you put, we'll talk about it.
Michael Bay taking over
DC.
I don't know. As long as they're not like the Transformers movies.
Well, here's the thing. I've always said this there's one difference between Michael Bay and Zack Snyder. Michael Bay knows he's making a shit movie. That's the thing. That's the difference. Zack Snyder thinks he's making cinema. That's the problem.
You know what will make this movie art? Slow-mo.
Exactly. And a fucking a hymn out of nowhere, shit like that. So, so that's my thing. I'm not trying to shit on DC because there's the thing, and I've said this for long. For people that don't know this, I'm gonna just put this on the table to begin with. I'm actually a bigger DC fan than Marvel. I've always been a bigger DC fan than Marvel. That's why it hurts me when I see shit like this and I try to defend it and I try to watch it and I try to drag other people to go see these movies. Hey, you want to go see Justice League with me? No. Birds of Prey? No, I'm good. So I gotta watch this shit by myself. It's damn near like Megan Fox is Wonder Woman, please. This isn't 2008 anymore.
She's like 3 feet tall too.
You're right. But that was fan casting time also. People wanted Megan Fox to be Wonder Woman badly for some reason at the time, So
I don't know. I mean, I like the shared universe stuff is a little iffy. You know,
Mhm.
you know, some are good, some like you know, but it seems like when they kind of do their own thing, that's the best stuff. You know, when
Right.
you know,
I agree. Like the Suicide Squad,
yeah, like
Peacemaker is the best thing they've done. That's not attached to anything.
yeah, the
You know.
James Gunn shit. Fuck you, James Gunn should do it. Give it to James Gunn.
James Gunn's a little bit too wacky. I mean, he's good for his area that he's in. I don't know about him taking over everything. I don't know if I want to see a James Gunn Superman. I don't know. Suicide 1 or 2 or
Oh,
2,
and then
but
he'll be adapting that scene in one of the Dark Knight books where him and Wonder Woman are fucking in the sky.
Oh, you know what's gonna happen.
Causing
She's
storms and shit.
right.
And
Like people just die in volcanoes, shit like that. And Wonder Woman at the end, I think I'm pregnant. Like, what the fuck?
I felt the earth move.
Get the live action stuff and the animation team. Well, here's the thing: most people don't know that some of the animation team was working on those movies. Like the same guy, like Jay Oliva, whatever, like that. He was working on those BBS Man of Steel movie. Like he got that team over there.
You know what oh, 2 is way better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, two is better. 2 is a much better movie.
But what I watched the other day that I hadn't watched in like a couple decades was that Batman Sub-Zero. And I was like, holy shit, that was great.
Exactly. That's another thing about it. Okay. Now we're talking about the animated series. Now, honestly, that animated stuff they're cranking out now, I feel like DC is kind of like downhill. They need to get it back up. But like the 2000s, the late 90s Batman animated series, honestly, they were doing a shared universe then. Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, Batman, Superman. Honestly, that was a better and more cohesive universe than the MCU. I say that to begin with. I almost feel like the MCU stole their shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's what you doing. Let's do that,
I was sitting there watching Batman Sub-Zero and I was like, wow, this is great. Like now I'm not going to, okay. But I might like it better than Phantasm. And I'm not shitting on Phantasm because I know this is the internet. Oh my God, how could you hate Phantasm? I don't hate Phantasm, all right? Mask of the Phantasm. Awesome flick. Yes, Mask of the Phantasm is great. I'm just saying, watching Sub-Zero, it's just very straight to the point. I felt like Phantasm, kind of with all the flashbacks and all this shit, kind of meanders a bit. Whereas like Batman Sub-Zero, it's just Victor trying to save Nora again. And it's like it kind of complements the Heart of Ice episodes. And I was like, wow, I was really into it. I was like, this is fucking great. So yeah, just to see them focus, to just stay focused. I feel like when you have a good story and you stay focused on the story and quit trying to set up everything, that's what fucks up the stories. You know what I mean?
They're more concerned about setting up the next movie than actually making a good movie.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like people problem like with Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, they just weren't good movies. That's the problem people have with them. It wasn't that they weren't connected, because they were all connected to everything. People just want better movies. Like the Batman. Yeah. Batman made all this stuff like that. It was a good movie. Is it connecting anything? Probably not, but it was a good movie.
And the stuff we didn't like was oh my God, it's the Joker. Who cares? Like,
right. Because that's when you feel like you're setting up stuff. You could have completely cut that stuff out and nobody would have missed a beat.
And
I'd rather you didn't have it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered at all, but but because the comic fans, we got to like show them the tits. Like, oh my God,
I have issues. It's a flawed movie, Jake. You got to admit it's a flawed movie because it's not Superman. That's the thing. And maybe that sells it to people, but it's not Superman. It's a dude that kind of got superpowers, but he's just like
super emo man as well.
Yeah, he's just wrecking shit too much, careless. And even when he does wreck shit, it doesn't seem like he even really cares. That's the problem. And not the fact that he wrecks shit. He doesn't care that he wrecks shit. He making out with Lois Lane, a chick he just met yesterday on top of a disaster he just caused. Like, come on, man.
And he spends the whole movie like, oh man, it's so hard to be Superman. Like, fuck you.
That's my thing. Like, it's not hard to make a Superman property. They do it all the time. Lois, like, I know people don't watch the CW, but Lois and Clark, they're killing it right now. Whatever the fuck that show is called, Superman and Lois. Yeah, they're killing it right now. They got the essence of the character. That's the thing.
Yes, he's a dad, he's a husband. It's this whole family dynamic, and it works. I can't run fast enough to save him. Oh, no.
Just let his dad die.
Oh man, we're gonna go back.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like these weird decisions they're making. It's just like, are you doing it? Are you making a Superman, or are you just making shock value? Oh, this is your daddy Superman, Iron Giant, Great Superman. So it's Hancock, but yeah. Oh, that's right. We canceled Will Smith. That's right. Even before the slap, we canceled Will Smith. So yeah, that's for long listeners of the podcast. But yeah, that's my thing.
No,
they're
Captain
gonna have
America is a great Superman.
that's my thing. Like they were both like boring ass characters in the comic, but they made Captain America interesting. They
You know
could have did
what's
the same
sad
thing with
is
Superman.
like
Yeah.
when Captain Marvel, you know, Carol Danvers does cooler Superman shit than Superman.
You don't understand. You like that hurt my heart, man. Because I'm a Superman fan. Superman is my favorite hero. Like I said, I like DC better than Marvel. Superman my favorite hand. So I see Captain Marvel Swiss cheese and alien spaceships like Superman does in the comics every other week.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him do it live action. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, he's flying around in space, you know, killing aliens and shit. And I'm like, damn.
Like
that's Carol Danvers was. I was like,
right.
where's this in Zack Snyder's?
Right. Since
ain't they fighting an alien?
And that's the thing, because I almost feel like Zack Snyder kind of hates Superman. I feel like he's like on that Frank Miller shit where he only likes Batman, so everybody else sucks.
Doesn't he die twice in that movie?
Right. That's the thing. To get his ass kicked every single time, just like he moping. Henry Cavill. Now, y'all, and people say they like Henry Cavill, bring Henry Cavill back, so like that. I hated Henry Cavill as Superman. Now, maybe he's good. I don't know. I just know what we got from him sucked. He's just this wooden cardboard thing. Yeah, he looks good like Superman. Yeah, he looks like a Jim Lee drawing, but he's just this thing. He barely talks. Barely same thing. When he does talk, he talks wooden like this. Like, is he fucking RoboCop? Is he Superman? What the fuck? Superman has a personality, but you can't tell from these movies. I understand people perceive him as a god. He doesn't have to walk around like a god figure all the time. He can be a dude. He can be a person.
I don't know. All I know is faster than a speeding bullet. But in Zack Snyder's movies,
slow mo. Let my dad die in the tornado. I'm not saying that DC and I honestly, I feel like I don't even trust Discovery with this shit either. I just feel like this is spin. I just feel like this is just selling us more shit because AT&T sold us the same shit. Oh, we're gonna make 5G, or we're gonna give you the Snyder Cut. This is just bullshit they're doing. Well, all they're gonna do is just make another studio. They're gonna hire some asshole corporate person, just put them over DC that knows nothing about DC, do the same shit over and over again. Oh, Nolan was popular, just make Shazam Grim Dark also, or what the fuck ever, you know. And we're just gonna be down the same road again and just complaining again, you know. So, and then when all this fails, just go back to Batman. So we're just gonna be in the same boat all over again. And I'm just like, come on, DC. So everybody else is happy that Discovery, everybody thinking that Discovery is going to restore the Snyderverse. Trust me, you don't want the Snyderverse restored. Do you know what Zack Snyder was planning with these fucking movies? In the sequel, he was going to have Superman raise Batman's son, who Lois Lane cheated on with while he was dead. That was he was going with. But that's what you want. You want the Snyderverse restored. You want cuck Superman raising Batman's son. That's what you want. Oh, man.
Matt Reeves should be in charge.
I need to see one more movie from him. I need to see. I feel like the Batman was like laying groundwork, but I need to see if he knows he cares.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, his Planet of the Apes movies were good, but he didn't start that. He only did the sequels.
Right.
So, and what else did he make? We made the Let the Right One In remake, which I thought was okay, but it's a remake. So
he did Cloverfield. He did Cloverfield.
He did the Cloverfield. That was all right. Yeah. That was a found footage though. But you know, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, he didn't find the footage. he shot it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. I think he's more of a filmmaker than just a runner of a studio or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I think he don't want to like take over a franchise like this, like a big,
because he reluctantly did Batman. He didn't even want to do Batman. They offered it to him. He's like, nah.
Yeah, but Ben Affleck was supposed to do that. That's like Ben Affleck was supposed to do that. Yeah,
I don't want to get into that shit because he knows what he's getting into. And then they finally gave it. He finally but let me do what I want, and they let him do what he want, and it just fits right now. But now that's just it fits. You know,
that'd be cool with Superman found footage movie. Yeah, that sounds like pretty cool. But yeah.
Well, then they try to do that in the Whedon cut with the
Oh,
digital.
you
Do you
just
really
trigger me
want
just
that
left and
now?
right, man. You just trigger me left and right now. Oh man, that's my thing. So I don't know what DC got playing. Like I said, I'm not executive. I don't want that job. I don't know who they're gonna find. Fuck it, just get Kevin Feige. Just don't get a Kevin Feige. Get Kevin. No, I want a guy like you. No, get that guy. Because look what Spider-Man did. Spider-Man sucked for a while. What they do? Kevin Feige, save us. Please take over. Help us. They gave it to Kevin Feige. He got him back on track. So do the same thing with them. So Warner
Yeah.
Bros. Just throw money. You did it with Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we understand that shit blew up in your face, but at least that just have that same energy with Kevin Feige. We know you work for Disney. We'll give you more money. Just come with us. Shit. And so,
Yeah,
and
or
I'm not
just
even
do it
saying that
backwards. Just I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what
And
to do. And
yeah,
the
I
thing
mean,
is,
but
like, people keep saying, do Marvel, do what Marvel. Marvel is not perfect. That's one thing. I think we're the only people that realize that, Eli, that Marvel is not perfect. Marvel has flaws too. Marvel has room for improvement. And
yeah,
those are things that, Warner Brothers could capitalize on. They just suck at it right now. But the thing is, they could capitalize on that and do those things. But I don't know. I think we talked about this shit. I didn't want to talk about this shit that long.
yeah.
Now we just feel like we're just ranting just for no reason. It does feel like 2015 over again with Snyder sucks, Snyder sucks. Like the upcoming line story for you. You guys excited for shit?
Um.
I don't know.
Well, what's that? Well,
Upcoming.
we're waiting on Hulk and Thor to fucking fight.
Yeah, that's we need to get caught up with that because I'm
Yeah,
kind of lost on
I
that
haven't
shit.
read they flip flopped and shit. Well,
Yeah,
Venom,
Hulk is
yeah.
Hulk
Al
is in
Ewing is
another
writing what?
universe,
Yeah,
and
Al Ewing is
Thor
writing
is like
Venom, and
drunk and shit. I don't know what the hell going on with them, but they're supposed to fight. I don't know. So, yeah.
that's what it's
All right,
leading towards.
let's move to. Okay, can we move on to the next part of the podcast? Well, I think we talked about that
Sure.
Snyder shit. Okay, everybody stick around. Now we're gonna talk about the comic books. I know this is the part where everybody usually just dip out on us, but this is where we have to start talking about comic books. So, like I said, this comic book bullies. We'll talk about the comic books. We're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I guess we starting off with me, you.
You got more books, so you should probably go.
Actually, not really.
Really?
I go first. I go first. Okay, I'll go first. Okay. I guess I'm gonna do this book because Marvel was really shoving this book down everybody's throat. So I feel like we should go ahead and talk about it.
Nostalgia, man. Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. The member berries. Remember this? So that's what we're talking about right now. We're going to talk about the X-Men House of 92. People don't know what the XXC 22 I meant, so I went and googled it because I didn't know what it meant either, and that's what it meant. So it's the House of 92. So here's the thing. So it is X-Men 92, but it's a spin on it. So it's the X-Men 92, but it bridges the gap between the X-Men of the 90s and the X-Men of today.
Oh, I thought
So
it was just like the cartoon.
that's
Like,
what I thought, but it's not. It is, but it isn't. So let me explain what's going on. So because it's kind of complicated, but everybody trying to stay with me because it's okay. Here we go. So what we got here is you see you got the Saved by the Bell thing. It's all right because this little 90s shit to remind you that it's 90s, so it starts off with the X-Men of the 90s, gonna bleed you. I'm not even gonna read the dialogue. It's X-Men doing X-Men shit. They fighting Sentinels, got the ass kicking shit like that. And they're fighting a master mold in space. Eli, does this sound familiar?
no.
Okay, not from that 90s cartoon shit, but from House of X. Remember when they had to go to the sun and fought that Orcus thing?
Oh yeah,
It's the same thing.
Nimrod or some shit.
Nimrod, they had to stop Nimrod from going online. They're telling the same story, but they're telling it with the X-Men 90s thing.
Oh, is this one of Moria's lives or something?
No, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah. So anyway, so the X-Men are trying to take down Master Mold, and Ball of the Trash is like, no, they build Krakoa because they have Krakoa here. They just built Krakoa. There's some shit happening between the X-Men 90 happened now. So basically, like the X-Mansion got destroyed. Professor X is dead. So they're coming here to stop all this stuff like this. They kill a bunch of Sentinels, but the Sentinels like wiping them out. So the Sentinels are killing them. Oh, and Storm's doing the wind and fury, lightning, all that shit she said in the 90s cartoons like that. Yeah, here comes Rogue. Yeah, sugar. So they doing the 90s shit, but they get killed left and right, So anyway, cut to the end because they just got their ass killed. And so Anyway, Bullock Trash still like, I'm about to press the button. So where's Wolverine? And he's about to say, I need to call and he cuts off. So it's Orchid. They work for Orchid on this, just like in the Hickman run. So Wolverine shows up. He's like, and they basically, and Jean Grey is telling Wolverine, whatever you do, don't let him push that button. This button right here, don't push that button. You know, do whatever you got to stop him. And he puts the button anyway because he says some shit like, yeah, I killed her, and that's why I'm going to kill the rest of you. So Wolverine freezes. He pressed the button. So the one thing they told him not to do, he did. But all the X-Men are dead, so they just like call him. He needs to take them out. So that's when Magneto shows up. Magneto's just like, okay, cool. He just blows up the place, just kills everybody. They could have just did this shit to begin with, but fuck it. So he blows up Master Mold. Actually, I think he kills everybody on there, including himself. He's dead too. So, but it's the X-Men. Who cares? So Psylocke is basically showing it. So it's the same shit that happened in the House of X book, where Psylocke is showing them that we have gates to Krakoa, we built Krakoa, we got this thing, and so the Friends of Humanity, who were some bad guys from the '90s cartoon, we come to kill you mutants, and they basically like we had all the bad guys that we had in the '90s cartoon. They're X-Men now. They're Deputy X-Men. They're on our team. There are no bad guys anymore. So we call them. They go take these guys out. They fight them and get to the end. Anyway, cut to the end. It's Krakoa shit. The thing you need to know, and matter of fact, they even, to me, my X-Men, all this shit like that. Professor X is back, even though he died in the 90s cartoon. They even had the five, but the five are different. It's all the people that were from the 90s cartoon, because like Hope and Goldball didn't even exist at the time when this shit came out, So they're back. And Wolverine is pissed because why can't you bring back the other people? Why can't you bring back Jubilee? Jubilee apparently died. Or did she? I skipped to the end anyway. Jubilee is not dead. You know why she's not dead? Because she lived the 10 lives. She's the one that knows everything. Yeah. So it's the 10 lives of Jubilee, but she's pretending like she's dead. And so, yeah. So the Charles and Magneto stuck her in some place where nobody knows she's there. She's just sitting there, and all she's just telling them the stuff that's coming. She's like, y'all did the one thing I told you not to do. Yeah, let him push the button. So Nimrod is coming. So Nimrod is coming in this universe too. And Wolverine's just like, I smell Jubilee. But they told him Jubilee was dead, So, but anyway, the X-Men at a Dazzler concert, that shit jamming, and Orchis is forming their own team. Bullock Trash has turned his body into a Sentinel now. So, and to be continued. So that's the thing. So it's I get what they're doing. What they're doing, they know that people are just going to just buy this book because it's nostalgia. But what they don't know is that they're getting like a Hickman's House of X guide for dummies. That's what they're getting. So they kind of like streamline that shit. Oh, the shit you missed for the last 30 years. Here you go. Which, not the worst idea. It may not give you what you thought you were buying, but it's not the worst idea. I guess it could be a gateway drug. So you love the 90s cartoon. You see this book. You pick up this book. You read it. And so if you do go to the new X-Men books, you kind of know what's going on because it kind of explained it a little bit. So that's my thing. Overall, 3 out of 5. It was a cool book. I never really was hot on the X-Men cartoon anyway. That's just me. I had my thing about it, but yeah, that was the thing. So, yeah, what you got?
Let me do this Thunderous book.
Cool. Okay. I know you got some kind of angle. I know it wasn't just some shit you just picked up.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a native comic released on Dynamite.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a graphic novel. It dropped this week. It's written by Natalie Peters and M.L. Smoker, and with art by Dale DeForest. Now, Dale DeForest, he's making waves these days. He's a Native American comic book artist. He has his own books, but he's also been working for Marvel. He actually did the illustrations. I don't know if you remember Rutherford Falls.
Oh, yeah.
There's that during the credit sequence. There's that little illustrations at the end during the credits. That's him. And he did this book, and it's basically, it's more of a kid's book. It's about this little Lakota girl who she basically goes on this adventure. She gets sucked into this other spirit world realm and has to go on this quest and meets all these different animal characters that help her on the way. It's a fairy tale. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, just to see Native American like storytelling and taking stories from their culture and their history and their teachings and stories. They have a mythology. Native Americans have a mythology full of, you know, heroes and villains and creatures and adventure stories as well. There's a whole untapped source of storytelling that, you know, Native Americans have that no one really knows about. So it's cool to see that they're, you know, writing about it. This girl, she is from the res, but she moves to the city. She's trying to fit in. She, you know, she's all on social media. She's always on her phone, and she kind of shuns her her culture. She's a little bit embarrassed by it, which I could relate to. Um, um, I mean, it's, you know, sorry. I just she's a little ashamed of who she is, and just because of, you know, Native culture is so invisible from pop culture. You know, there's nothing, we don't get to see ourselves very well represented very well, especially, you know, me coming, you know, me growing up, you know, to see this story like that, a fairy tale for Native kids that has, you know, characters from their culture in the story. It was it's pretty cool that kids these days, Native kids these days, get to see that, because I didn't get to see that. You know, what I got to see when I was a kid was stupid. You know, I hated most representation of natives as a kid. You know,
Because one thing, it wasn't written by natives.
No.
Right.
And you know, sorry. Sorry. Just like, you know, when all this shit about, you know, what I got to see, everything I hate. I always bitch about the stereotypes and Native comic characters, how I hate them all, and, you know, and just all the stereotypes. You know, I couldn't stand it, and, you know, it's like almost I was ashamed of my heritage as well. You know, and when people talk about the sports teams and the mascots and the fucking Halloween costumes and shit, and oh, what's the big deal? It's just a costume. It's just a game and all that shit. It was all clown shit to me, you know, and all the fans hooping and hollering and the tomahawk chops. Oh, this is honoring you. It wasn't honor, you know. I felt they were all acting like buffoons, you know, and it was just clown shit to me, and I didn't like it. I didn't want to be that. I didn't want that. I didn't want to be associated with that. So it's like almost I resented that part of myself for a long time. And so I just think it's cool that a book like this exists, where Native kids can have a fairy tale with their history, with their culture, and done correctly, done accurately, you know. So yeah, it's basically a fairy tale, a Native fairy tale with a Native child, and it's got language, and it's got the history, and it's got, you know, which is and there's another controversy in the Native community about, you know, there's like hardcore traditional natives that are like, these stories aren't for entertainment purposes. Like, they don't want these stories aren't for outsiders. And I can kind of understand that to a point, but I'm also like, this is preserving culture, you know,
right,
by using the comics and whatever film or whatever art to tell these stories. You're preserving the culture, you're preserving the history, you're preserving language. There's Native language in this book, you know. So it was really cool to see that, you know. And like I said, it's geared for kids. It's a sweet little fairy tale. She goes on a quest. She goes on a fellowship, if you will. And she completes her quests, and she has a better appreciation of who she is and her history and her culture and the stories, you know. So yeah, I found it pretty moving.
Yeah, but like I said, you can see the difference when you're telling your own stories. That's the
Yeah,
difference. Yeah.
yeah, it is written by native writers and native artists. So yeah, it's called Thunderous. It's on Dynamite Entertainment. Put it out. So check it out if you get a chance.
So nice. Okay. All right. What do we got? What do we got? I think I'm gonna do. You read this also, but I think I'm gonna do this one.
Son of
I
KAL-EL.
don't. Yeah, I don't know if we flipped the coin or who said who was gonna take over what, but I'm
Well,
calling
you're the Superman guy, so I figured.
it. Even though I just shitted on him for like 20 minutes, but yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Superman, Son of Kal-El. This is issue number 10. We're talking about for those who know what's going on, this is John Kent, the Superman's son. Superman's off in space getting his ass kicked by Mongol or some other space warlord or some shit like that. So he's filling in the shoes. That's what's going on right now. So going on, we have what do we have here? Hobbs Bay press conference. We have this podcast group called The Truth. That is Superman's boyfriend. So I'm just giving you a heads up in case you haven't keeping up with the book or don't know what the hell's going on. So don't be alarmed. They're basically just saying, like, should we cover this news subject on us? Should we cover this press conference? Like, nah, we shouldn't cover this because we only cover the truth. And this shit is gonna be nothing but lies because it's Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor's just gonna just say all the wildest shit he could possibly say about Superman. Basically just saying, like, okay, so, and Lex Luthor's doing his regular press conference, like, look, I love Superman. Nobody loves Superman more than I do. But this asshole is a Superman. He's a boy. He wants to be Superman, but he can't fill his daddy's shoes. And plus, he's being manipulated by other people. He wants to be inspired, but he can't. He's not ready to be Superman. He's more like Superboy or Super Teen. We've seen the stuff he does when rioters break out. He joined the rioters. Notice he called them rioters, not protesters. He wants to make sure he's dog whistling, but we're not gonna go there. When he handcuffs with them, stuff Superman would never do. And plus, when I sent a team of Gamorreans to come over here and defuse the situation, he sided with the big Atlantean monster that was killing people, and he let those guys die, and other people die on the shore of Metropolis. And not only that, he killed a guy a couple of days ago. Now, of course, Lex Luthor doctored the footage. Superman didn't kill the guy, but the way it looked like Superman, the guy exploded Superman's head, and you don't know what really happened. So basically, what's happening now, people are afraid of Superman.
Yeah.
But he's flying around. He's like, look, I understand people don't like me right now, but I still have a job to do. So I'm going to go to Ireland. There's some kind of flood going on right now. And the Spire of Dublin, I don't really know what that is. I'm pretty sure it's a real thing, but it fell down on this building. And he's like, okay, I can't lift the thing because if I lift the thing, then the building will collapse upon itself. So I'm going to just heat vision my way in to just let people know who I am. And they're like, I'm Superman. But the thing is, people are afraid of him. So they back away from her, like, no, get away from me. Get away from my kid, So before he can like calm people down, that's when the place starts to like destroy itself. So heat visions like the little bitty debris before it attacks anybody. Now he picks up the spire and lifts it, and he's like, don't worry about it, everybody. I know y'all are scared of me, but I'm still here to help you, And he flies off, While he flies off, he's talking to Nightwing, and Nightwing
Oh,
is
I like
basically,
how the little girl was the only one who wasn't scared of him.
yeah. He's like, look, I'm trying to, like, at least the girl, likes me, stuff
That's
like
kind of
that.
like in the new Batman movie when he was like trying to save everybody and no one was like, oh shit. And there was the
Right,
little
but the
kid who went to him first.
right, the kid went to, and then when the kid did it, everybody else followed also,
Yeah.
So yeah, so Nightwing is talking to John, and he's just like, are you hearing the stuff they're saying about you? He like, yeah, I can hear my super hearing. Like, no, you might need to watch it. They're saying some stuff about you right now, Why Lex Luthor's still just saying all kind of crazy shit. Like, can you really trust the son of an alien? And Lois Lane shows up in a what, Lex? What you about to say? And Lex Luthor just like, you know what? Let her come on. Don't. Oh no, he like, yeah, you're gonna let Superman. Superman needs his mommy to defend him, you know. And everybody's stamping now. Lois Lane is a news story. She's just like, nah, I just came over here to just challenge you because I know what you're planning, Lex. So all I want to know is that, are you basically conspiring with outside forces to take down my son. You're like, what are you talking about? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, if you're talking about, why don't you touch this? And he pulls out the golden lasso. And everybody's like, well, how did she get her hands on that? You're like, well, she's Lois Lane. She can do that, And she's like, well, all you got to do is just touch and just say that you didn't try to kill my son, Lex. I mean, how hard is that? Do it on national TV if you're telling the truth. And Lex Luthor just like, you know what? Forget you. I'm out. So he just leaves. He's like, I ain't got to touch that shit. You're like, look at you, Lex. So then one of the guards tried to get their hands on Lois Lane, and Lois Lane like, yeah, you really shouldn't have did that. And then as soon as she does that, boom, Superman shows like, get your hands on my mama. Before I embarrass both of you on TV. And then they just leave, like, let's go, we're good, So they leave, and basically Jay just like, don't you got to return it back to Wonder Woman? You're like, what, this? Nah, ain't even Wonder Woman. I just painted a rope gold, that's all. Like, but you fool Lex Luthor. Yeah, well, I guess he may be the smartest man in the world, but maybe not that smart, So while they're doing that thing, Jay and John are talking, and Jay is just like, are you going to tell your mom? You're like, I'm scared to. Like, you scared to talk to your mom? Like, aren't you Superman? Like, you scared to talk to my mom. But yeah, but I'm, I worship your mom, So while Lois comes in and sees him talking, she's just like, John, let me talk to you. Take him to the next room. And she just hugs him. Basically saying, I'm proud of you for coming after me, So Lois is cool with it. Clark is cool with it. You should be cool with it. Calm down. All right, so we go to that.
She says that she knew. She had kind of suspected.
Yeah, it's kind of suspect. She's like, how did you suspect? Like, for a decade, you didn't even know Clark Kent and Superman were the same person. She's like, but look, ever since then, I figured this shit out. They won't catch me again. So then that's when Batman shows up. And Batman's just like, and Lois told him, like, did I tell you stop sneaking up on us? He was like, look, I ain't got time. I got to come in. And basically, John's like, how did you get in here? I didn't hear you. I didn't see you. How did you sneak up on me? And Lois is like, because he's Batman. And John's just like, that is not an answer. The same answer everybody else used. But basically, Batman's just like, look, Lois, it's time. And John's like, time for what? You're like, well, we got to go. You pissed off a foreign country, and I just pissed off Lex Luthor. They're going to come for both of us. So we need to go to the Justice League. So they go, so yeah, look, you remember the Justice League now. Let's go. Just the two of you. And Jay's just like, well, can my boyfriend come? I'm like, no, just the two of you. He stays. Yeah. So they leave, and basically, John's just like, look, if you get to know Jay, he'd be okay. And Batman's like, I already know who he is. I know who he is. I know where he's from. I know who he's working for. You cannot trust him. Dun, dun, dun. And that's it. Now, Eli, did I or not call it?
Yes.
I called it. This, yes. But I didn't think Tom Taylor had the balls to do it. But I was like, it was just too, because it would just make sense that if he would be a spy to seduce Jonathan Kent. It would just make sense, But man, yeah, like I said, another solid book that they're doing. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, the plot thickens. Yeah. No, when that happened, I was like, oh shit, really? This is gonna it's his first boyfriend. This is gonna be heartbreaking.
Right, because I thought they didn't have the balls to do it, because I thought they didn't want to like demonize like basically like the most popular homosexual relationship they have in the DC universe right now, especially like, so they've been hyping up Pride Month. Now you're trying to say that his boyfriend is a spy? So, oh well.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, yeah, what you got next?
I'll do Batman 89, number 6
5.
or no, number 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah. So this is this is just a tribute to the Nolan, or not the Nolan, Tim Burton's universe, the Tim Burton Batman movies. It's basically supposed to be the part 3, a third Batman sequel to the Tim Burton movies that never got made. And we have Marlon Wayans was supposed to be Robin. Billy D. Williams is still Two-Face in this universe. And basically what's going on now, this is kind of a throwaway, not throwaway, like a filler episode or issue. Kind of disappointing. Batman and Robin go out on their first mission. We're getting Two-Face actually banding together Joker's old clown gang, and they're out, doing some crimes and causing, diversions in the city because they're trying to get files on the savings and loan that they're trying to rob. There's all this shit going on. And then there's shit with Barbara Gordon is married to Two-Face, and there's that going on. And then Commissioner Gordon's quitting. He's going to quit being commissioner. And then he gets kidnapped by Two-Face at one point. And then Catwoman shows up at some so like all this shit is like sort of crammed into this issue. And I feel like this is like the second. This is so what it's only a 6-issue arc. This is issue 5, and I feel like they're just sort of trying to wrap everything up real quick. They set all this stuff up, and now they're just kind of cram everything in there because they're almost done. They've only got 2 more issues left, and it's like I wish I could have seen more with Batman and Robin. This is like their first time doing shit together. They teased, Robin, for the first, 4 issues, and now they're finally together. Him and Batman are finally together doing shit, and it's kind of rushed. And same thing with Two-Face. The Two-Face shit feels a little rushed. They just kind of felt a little convoluted and kind of rushed. So, 3 out of 5. But hey, I mean, there's one more issue. It's not going. I'm not going to read it. So
I kind of fell off on it. I think I'm gonna just pick it up and trade. But the first couple issues are pretty cool. So
and I love the cover here. With Michelle Pfeiffer as the Catwoman.
Hell here, that's just awesome seeing.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
Cool. All right. So the next book I'm going to do is Eternals, number 11.
Oh, damn! You read the Eternals, huh?
I read Eternals. Yeah. I am part of the machine. Actually, the reason I picked this up because it's actually a hook. That whole. Okay, so somebody asked me. I'm not gonna mess your name up. Earl Edwards Jones II. You asked me any upcoming storylines I'm excited for. Not really excited for it, but one to look for is basically like an Avengers, X-Men, Eternals 3-way.
Oh, that thing battle. Going on.
Judgment Day. So this is the precursor to that. This is like leading up to that. So the Avengers in this basically, and basically the Avengers fight the Eternals in this book. So.
That's going to be this summer. That's going to be the summer event. The summer blockbuster.
It's going to be the summer block. It's like the big thing Marvel has planned right now. But in this book right here, the Avengers and Eternals fight. That's why on the cover you got Kingo and Captain America going at it. But anyway, let's get to it. So like I said, we got Kingo versus Captain America. It happens. It is a thing. And we're just going to jump into it. So basically, what's going on right now is that, the Avengers Mountain Avengers headquarters is the head of a Celestial. Like the body of a Celestial, and the Eternals worship the Celestial as gods. That's basically like that's their gods. So like that's not cool, but they got to get some information that only Celestial knows. So they got to figure out how to talk to us. So what they're doing is that they're going to sneak into Avengers Mountain without them getting noticed. And seriously, just like, don't worry, I'll take out one Avenger, y'all take out the rest. And the Avenger she takes out is Namor. How does she take out Namor? By being butt naked in a jacuzzi with him, drinking champagne. Yeah. So they hear the alarm going off, so they know some other wild shit going on. And Namor is just like, that's an alarm going off. Seriously, is that because of you? And seriously, like it might be, but ask yourself this: do you want to go check out that alarm, or do you want to check me out being butt naked in your jacuzzi? I mean, make a decision.
Check out these titties,
right? And Namor's just like, what? You make a strong argument, So we don't see them for the rest of the book, So anyway, what's going on right now? I'm trying to remember these Eternals. I can forget their names. And I've read every fucking Eternal book. I can't remember the names. That one, Selma Hayek chick. I can't remember her name. That one.
I haven't even seen the movie yet. So
okay, I know this shit. I just read this shit. And I can't remember it. What was her name? Fuck. The thing. The Selma Hayek chick. Anyway, she's praying to the God. She's praying to the Celestial, while Makari is like wrapping around like, can you hurry this shit up? Can you hurry up and get out of here? And like but the Celestial won't talk to her, even though she talked to the Avengers. Ajax, that's the name. Ajax. She won't talk to Ajax, and she can't figure out why. So she like, I need the Eternals to stall the Avengers long enough for me to get this information from the Celestial. So y'all do whatever you got to do. So basically, the alarm is set off by this guy, Skuladar the Destructoriite, and he has traveled trillion dimensions to fight the Defenders. The Avengers. Sorry about that. The Avengers. But it's not Destructor, the whatever. It's Kingo, the movie star. He's just pretending he's in character because he's an actor, so he's just in character pretending to be some kind of evil demon to kill the Avengers, and he's basically like, one touch of my obsidian blade will destroy even the strongest Avenger. And the child's looking at him like, yeah, this dude's full of shit. He's not who he say he is. He's like, no, I am as evil as I say I am. And but while that's going on, Thanos did some. Oh yeah, Thanos is leader of the Eternals now. So imagine how this shit works out. He's trying to destroy a planet. He's trying to destroy a town. So the Eternals are trying to save this town, and they think the only way to save the town is because of like some bubbling shit that's about to blow it up. And Thanos is doing evil Thanos shit. It doesn't matter to this plot right now. But Icarus is just like, she's on the phone. They're talking to the Selma Hayek chick. I can't remember what her name is. She's saying, look, I got a pocket dimension in my bedroom. Go get it. You can get the town and you can get them out of there. Okay, cool. So Icarus flies off, go get the thing, the pocket dimension, grabs it, snatches it, gives it to Athena. They put the town in the pocket dimension. That way, Athena, Icarus, and Gilgamesh pick it up, take it off to the other place. So that way, when the thing does blow up, it won't affect the town. But it lands like wrongly, and everything is destroyed, even though all the people are still alive. So the people are pissed. They like, man, you destroyed my house. You destroyed my car. What the fuck you do that for? We were trying to save you. From what? Boom, and then the thing blows up from that. Because that was going to kill you if we left you there. So you're like, well, damn, what does my insurance cover this? Can I file it under act of God? We're like, nope, we're not God. So you're screwed. So yeah. All right. So anyway, Thor is about,
I Googled it.
Yeah.
Her name was Ajax.
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah, they finally put the shit in it. Yeah, but I knew this shit before. I just couldn't remember for the reason. Anyway, so Thor is about to beat the shit out of Kingo, and Kingo is just like, before you beat the shit out of me, there is a town that might need your help that Thanos was trying to destroy. Now I don't care because I'm evil, but you might want to care. So Cap is like, Carol, take a team, go check it out. We'll handle this asshole right here. Like, you handle me. I'm the most evil, destructive being in the bam. Captain America smacks him in the face, and so knocks down. And then T'Challa's just like, I've seen your fighting style before. You took that hit on purpose. You're not Destructor, the whatever. You're an Eternal. I've seen you fight before. So he was like, well, there's no reason for me not to kick your asses now. So Kingo fights Black Panther and Captain America. And the way they're talking, they're like, because Kingo basically like invented half of the martial arts they know, because like he's been around forever, So they're saying that he's good enough that he can probably take one of them one-on-one, but together he can't take Cap and Black Panther at the same time, So while we're going to that, the Eternal, so Ajax get pissed. She's like, okay, you want to talk to me? She grabs a mace and just starts beating the shit out of the Celestial, whatever like that. So when the Eternals, so the Avengers finally get to where the Eternals was for that town that just blew up. And Echo comes there first. And the Avengers are there, and it's like, okay, Eternal, what the hell y'all doing?
Phoenix Echo?
Yeah, Phoenix Echo. She gets there. Yeah, she's there. She's like, okay, what the hell y'all doing here? So the Eternals don't say shit because they're still stalling for time because Ajax hasn't got the answer from the god yet, from the space god. So they don't say anything. They just stand there. But what they're doing is that they're mentally talking to each other, coming up with a strategy, coming up with a game plan, because that's one of the powers the Eternals can do. So more evil Thanos shit. Don't care. He's beating shit out of the daddy. Who cares? So the Avengers are still talking like, okay, are y'all gonna say anything? And all Gilgamesh says just said, okay, take out the strongest one first. Take her out. So they hit Carol, but they really were going for Echo. So they threw that pocket dimension thing at Echo, and she gets sucked into a pocket dimension, and she's gone. And they're like, but she's the Phoenix. She'll be out eventually, but they'll at least get her off the table for right now. So Thor's just like, mother, or whatever the fuck, and he's like, I just made this shit up. He's like, don't worry, she'll be all right. She will, but you won't, So Thor's about to beat the shit out of Athena. And then that's when Tony's talking to Icarus. He's like, Icarus, before we start this, you are nigh indestructible, right? He's like, all right. You're like, cool. Boom. And then blast him with a satellite from space. That Gears of War, Donna hammer thing, hits him with that. Yeah, takes him out, blast him from space with his satellite, So the Avengers, the Eternals really like, okay, yeah, we were stalling, but honestly, we probably about to get our ass whooped, So Thena is like, they're like, Thena, Ajax, have you got the answer yet from the space god? She's like, almost. And then the space god got his ass beat so much by that mace, he's about to start talking. You're like, okay, tell me what I need to know. To be continued. And the next issue is Thanos just beating the shit out of everybody. Eternal, Avengers, he don't care. His hands are rated E for everybody. So yeah, so that's it. So that's going on right now. Like, it's cool. Like I know that they're trying to get the ball rolling, ramp it up to this big cosmic whatever. We still don't even know how the X-Men play into this shit, but I'm pretty sure they figure out some kind of way. Who we got here?
Well, they're on Mars.
NHK Kid.
Cool. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Martians are not going to be involved in it. It's going to be the immortal X-Men or like that, you know. But and it's a bunch of other shit I skipped over, but I ain't got time to be explaining all the Eternal shit. So, all right. So, what do you got next?
I'll do this. A Town Called Terror, #1.
Okay, I didn't have time to make a graphic. So,
all right. Well, I got an image.
Cool. All right.
I got it. So this is Steve Niles' new book. Steve Niles, he's comic horror writer. 30 Days a Night, amongst others. And this is his new book on Image. Is it Image? Yeah, Image. And it's basically kind of a weird thing. I'm not sure what's going on yet, but basically this dude gets kidnapped and taken to this town called Terror, where strange things are afoot. There's some weird shit where like the Strangers or the Purge, these guys just kind of show up in the middle of the night and take this dude. There's a weird introduction where a guy puts a dismembered body back together and it comes to life, kind of like Frankenstein. I got Frankenstein vibes from that. So not sure exactly what's happening, but all this weird, creepy shit's going on. So I'm intrigued, but not completely sold yet because I just don't know what the story is quite yet. This dude gets kidnapped, and I guess he's from that town. I haven't been here in decades or whatever, you know. So I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna wait for the trade or if I'm gonna read the next issue. But you know, Steve Niles, you know, I have faith in him. And the art is really cool. This is what's his name, Simon Kradansky. He did
that guy. Okay.
Yeah,
he did some Green Arrow a while ago,
and he did that Punisher book with Rosenberg, which had really gritty art. So the art's pretty cool. It's visually, it's a really cool book. I'm just not sure the direction this story is going quite yet. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5. So.
Cool. All right, let's see what we got here. Federico Blee just covered this channel yesterday. Great style, guys. I'm glad you like it, Superman. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a big Superman fan. I almost have a hard time saying that out loud because it's tough to be a Superman fan. It's almost like being a fucking LA Clippers fan or some shit like that. You just don't say the shit out loud, you know. Superman sucks. What the fuck you like Superman for? So yeah, so that's my thing. All right, so next book I'm going to do is Black Panther. Yeah.
I read this too.
You read this also. You know what? Comixology or Amazon, whatever, are so screwed up that they didn't even list Black Panther on there. So the only reason I even knew this book was out, I had to actually go to like Marvel's thing and list the books that came out. Because if I just went by Amazon, I wouldn't even know. You would have been reviewing Black Panther. This is what it means. It's a masterpiece, Leroy. It really understands the black man's struggle. Anyway, what do we got here? So Black Panther, for those been keeping up. Anyway, Black Panther has this sleeper cell of assassins that are out that he's trying to shut down. I missed what happened in the last book. Anyway, his sidekick that's been with him the whole time, Amamola or whatever, I don't know her name. Anyway, turns out that she is suspected to be the traitor because she tried to kill T'Challa last issue. She's on trial by the Wakandan Parliament, you know. And basically saying like, nah, we can't trust you. We're going to send you to, you know, Wakandan jail or whatever like that, you know. And she's like, but I didn't do it. Yeah, you did. Fuck it. So, skip past that. Anyway.
Well, they had an argument last book because didn't she like cheat on her husband or something like that? Or some domestic complications were going on. And her husband was the one that died.
Right. And they're thinking she killed her husband. She's saying like, why would I kill my husband? You know?
Yeah, I think he cheated on her. He was banging some other chick, and that's why they think she killed him.
Right. So she's trying to protect Professor Innocent. So,
Yeah.
oh, and this I like this shit also. I forgot to say about this. So basically, T'Challa is getting into it with the leader of the parliament, because technically she has more power than him right now. For those who don't have me keeping up with Black Panther comics, this actually happened in Coach Run. Wakanda is now a democracy. It's no longer a monarchy. Did I say it right? I said it right this time. I always screw that up, but I said it right this time. So they're a democracy. So basically, T'Challa, even though technically he's still king, he's really just a figurehead. He has no power. He has no political power. He's like the Queen of England. She don't really do shit. So that's going on. So Shuri is trying to have a conversation with the chick that one of T'Challa's sleeper agent, and she's just like, so tell me why you didn't do what you did. She's like, I didn't do it. If I wanted to kill T'Challa, he'd be dead. And you're basically saying the same thing you did. It's basically saying that, oh, you killed him because your husband was more loyal to T'Challa than he was to you, and that's why you killed him. He was like, oh, that's what you think of me? Sure, you think I'm just some kind of lovesick puppy? Oh, I'm so in my feelings. I'm so much of a woman. I can't handle it, this girl stuff. You're like, you know what? You smart, but you dumb as hell. That was you said, as a Shuri.
Yeah.
She's like, and Shuri's just like, look, okay, I can't prove it. Give me a chance, and I'll try to prove whether or not you did what you said you did. But if it finds out that you did do it, it's gonna be some issue. We're gonna have some problems. So basically, Shuri is just like basically telling Black Panther what's going on. She's just like, okay, I've been digging into those assassins that came after you, and something isn't adding up. They were getting encrypted messages from somebody in Wakanda. Somebody in Wakanda is plotting on you. There's a traitor in the country, but we don't know who it is. They're like, okay. Well, and like, sure, who do you think it is? So they have a conversation as she's talking to the head of the parliament. And we're like, well, obviously it's only one person it could be. And boom, they're talking to the head of the War Dogs. They thinking the head of the War Dogs may have to do it because it will make sense for them to do it. If they take out the T'Challa sleeper agents, that makes the War Dogs the military of Wakanda, which makes them the most powerful on the team. So that would easily mean that he's the biggest suspect. And she was like, nah, I would never turn on Wakanda. If anybody had an issue with Wakanda that would turn on Wakanda, it would be T'Challa. That's kind of fucked me up right there. Okay, so people really think that T'Challa might be a traitor to Wakanda, but he breaks it down. He breaks down, think about it. T'Challa no longer has the power he had before. So if he sends his sleeper agents out there, cause some kind of like weird ass problem, cause all kind of commotion, the Black Panther comes in and save us, it makes him look like a hero and he gets the power back, get the power of the people back. You're like, why would I do some bullshit like that?
Or is that guy the traitor?
Or is that right? That's the thing. So everybody's pointing fingers at each other's right now. You're like, T'Challa, don't act like you ain't been lying to everybody in Wakanda before. I know your secrets. I'm the War Dog. I keep your secrets. I know where the body's buried. I know what kill switch is. And they were like, what the hell is kill switch? And T'Challa like, well, okay, what the kill switch is, he's like, don't worry about it. I'll tell you what kill switch is in meantime. But for right now, we can't trust anybody. And basically the prime minister, yeah, that's what I call it. I call it prime minister. She may not be the prime minister, but I call it prime minister. So the prime minister is like, okay, look, I can't trust anybody right now, so I'm getting emergency powers. So the War Dogs, I'm shutting them down. I control the War Dogs right now. And as far as T'Challa, hand over your Black Panther costume. They're like, what? And T'Challa looks at he was like, okay, should I beat everybody's ass in this room, or should I just pay attention, just do what she says? You know what? I'm gonna get my costume. She's like, for the good of Wakanda, I'm not gonna make a scene. So they just okay. And then she's like, okay, take T'Challa to put him on house arrest. Don't put him like in real jail. Just have him chill out in a country club, just so we can keep a watch on him until we figure out what the hell's going on. But T'Challa gives Shuri a look and walked off. So when they take out to the room, we take him outside. T'Challa's like, you know what? I changed my mind. And he starts beating the shit out of the guards and shit like that.
Without his suit.
Without his suit, he has no suit. He has no power. So they're trying to stop him. One of the Sky Cycles try to take him out. He takes them out, steals it, and flies off. They're like, oh shit, So T'Challa has made his own escape. So they know he's out there, and basically, like the head of the War Dogs telling the Prime Minister, look, I know what you're trying to do, but you need to give me my powers back. You need to give me power over the War Dogs. And if you do that, I'll bring T'Challa back in. She's like, cool. You're in charge of the War Dogs again. Do what you got to do. Like, cool. Okay, I need everybody to set a perimeter. The shield on the outside of Wakanda inverse it. So instead of people can't go out, instead of people can't come in, people can't go out. That'll stop T'Challa from going out. So T'Challa is trying to get away from the war dogs, and he sees the shield is up. So he knows if he flies right to the shield, he's going to go splat, But that's what we were talking about, that look he gave Shuri earlier. He's like, I wanted Shuri knew what I was talking about. So right before he gets ready to fly into the shield, boom, a hole opens up just big enough to let T'Challa through. She's like, uh-huh. So he flies through, he cranks up the engine, flies through, shield closes up behind him, and the other war dogs fly right into it, and he's outside of Wakanda. So yeah, and that's what Shuri's like, I got you, bro. So all they had to do was just look at each other. She knew the game plan. That's sis right there. So the head of the war dogs is like, oh shit. I'll tell you what. Find out what happened to the perimeter breach. I'm pretty sure Shuri had something to do with it. When you find Shuri, arrest her on site. So and anyway, the guard sees Shuri, and she just like, wait, I'm talking to Shuri right now, and she wants to break out the assassin that T'Challa had earlier. You're like, well, hold up, let me send some reinforcements down there. I'm like, it's Shuri, I can take Shuri. She like half my size. Like, I'm telling you, let's send reinforcements before you go take her on. And she's just like, you sure you want to do this? Like, you said, first off, you're a war criminal and you're trying to break out a criminal. So yeah, I want to do this. Like, okay, I warned you. So then she throw her grid powers at the guy and takes him out. So yes, if people haven't been keeping up, Shuri has superpowers in the comics. Where her powers are, whatever she wants them to be. We don't really know yet. But anyway, she takes the guy.
She spent time in like the spirit world or some shit.
Yeah, she came back. She's like, so she can like communicate with the dead, and she's got like animal powers and stone powers and bird powers. She can fly and whatever the fuck she want to do, she can do it. Anyway, breaks out the girl. They're like, look, we got to go. I know you didn't do it, so we got to find the person who really did it. But before they go there, that's when the war dog's sitting there waiting on them and just like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. You were right where we want you. You might as well just close the cell behind you because that's it. She's like, oh, really? You're like, how do I know you didn't set this whole thing up? You're like, oh, you just as paranoid as your brother. No, I'm not paranoid. I'm prepared. So she flashbangs them. Boom, makes a run for it. So while they're out there, and they just beat the shit out of everybody. And basically, like they're out of there, just like, okay, so, but what are we gonna do about T'Challa? He is outside of Wakanda, out his own, being hunted down like a dog by the war dogs, and he don't have his Black Panther suit. What can he do? And like, you really don't know my brother, do you? Look, he may not have his Black Panther suit, but he really don't need it. He still can whoop ass. And all we see is T'Challa jumping down on 3 war dogs and the book ends. So does T'Challa take down these war dogs? Of course he does. When we get to the next bare feet, we already know when we pick up the next issue, them dudes gonna have a well whooped ass, and he's gonna be on to the next adventure. So that's going on. So am I on board with David Ridley's Black Panther run? It's cool. Here's the thing. Okay. Coast was slow. Coast didn't have a lot of shit going on. But Coast had a lot of shit going on. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense with that.
Kinda. Yeah.
It was like bigger picture things. There were a lot of things happening. Political structure wise, things were happening. With this, it's kind of just a simple, superhero story. T'Challa's on the run, enemy of the state, which we've never seen before. We've never seen T'Challa, enemy of the state of Wakanda. That's a new thing, but it's cool. But it's not like groundbreaking or earth shattering like that. It's like it's a cool Black Panther story.
I mean, I think there was like earlier in the book, there was all this political intrigue, and that whole discussion was sort of reminding me of Coates.
Right.
The first,
they didn't spend too much time on it. They didn't spend too much time
on
it.
But it was very brief, and it moved the story along. Then we picked up the pace, and then ass whipping started happening. But yeah, I can see where like it was referencing a lot of the political commentary that Coates' run had.
Right. It just because it's picking up from that, like it's addressing the political commentary.
Which don't get me wrong, it was a lot of cool ideas, very smart, very a lot of things.
Wakanda in space, man. I mean, that's a thing. He did that,
Yeah. So, but it was just so dry.
Exactly. Yes.
Whereas this is like, we're gonna. It touched up on it, but then we picked up some pace. It picked up the pace. And we got to some action,
Yeah. Plus, you got this whodunit going on. Everybody pointing
Yeah.
fingers and stuff like that. So,
But I gotta say that conversation between Shuri and what's her name, or
Oma Lola, I
yeah,
think.
whatever her name is, that was great. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Especially that panel with her where she's like, okay, I'm a like a crazy lady who can't live without a man. Like that panel alone with her expression, I
Yeah.
laughed my ass off. And it's just cool to see that, like just that facial expression and like the sarcasm. Like we
Right.
don't get to see. We get a lot of humor here and there in comics,
Yeah.
but like sarcasm, like
Yeah, especially in Black Panther comics where everything's like super serious, So
Yeah.
when you see somebody being like, sarcastic in a Black Panther comic, you're like, it almost kind of takes you out of the book, but it's funny to see that,
Yeah, like which is I'm just a big pat sack full of girl stuff, and she's got that smirk on her face, like ooh. Like I thought that was so funny. It was a great little moment in this book.
All right, so I think I'm booked out. You got anything else?
I'm booked out. I read this too, so yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we did. We actually had a lot of books going on. Eli, I don't know how we pulled a full show out of this, but somehow we did.
It was all the bitching about DC.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you come to see us bitch about DC. You're not gonna see us do that for a while. we're done with that. We just had to get out since we hadn't done it in years. So I think we were due for one.
We are reading DC books that are pretty good. Like we did like Superman, KAL-EL, the son of KAL-EL. That was it's not like we're totally shitting on DC.
Yeah, even though everybody else is, we're the only like comic book reviewers that actually like this book. Everybody else just they spend an hour and a half and longer than we are just shitting on this book by itself. Why? Because Superman has a boyfriend. Who gives a fuck, man? Let it go. Anyway, follow us next week. I don't know what we're gonna do next week, but we will do something. We will make a show out of nothing. We will be Seinfeld of the comic book world.
We're gonna watch Batman again.
No, I won't. Actually, I will. Yeah. As soon as this podcast is over, I'm turning on the Batman. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same.